Hello everyone, back with another video. So haven't done one in quite a while, been quite quiet on sort of watching and commenting on other people's YouTubes or YouTube videos should I say, and on the WhatsApp groups and things. Yeah, the last sort of few days I've been like working nights at work. So not only I've been, I say, asleep, trying to sleep in the daytime, it's not been as sunny, but it's been hot and muggy, and then there's people around shouting and waking me up. Um, so yeah, in the day I've either been asleep or tired, and then at the night time I've been at work. So not only busy at work, but yeah, I won't go into all the details. But the job we've been doing is really hard. So yeah, I've just been like knackered in that. Um, haven't had too much money. Won't gonna buy anything until I get paid. Well, in like 6 days' time now. But where I'd done these overnights, you get like what do you call it? Extra money basically for unsociable hours. And the week before, or last week, should I say, I worked about 5 or so extra hours. So I had a couple of £100 left that I was sort of waiting to the end of the month just in case any unexpected bills came out. I also did say I was had to pay out like £437 for my cat to go under anaesthetic and have his teeth cleaned. I'd saved up for that, but that's where most of my money went this month, so I've not been able to buy too much. But yeah, kind of thought now I know I'm getting this overtime money of like 200 quid, I could afford to spend a bit. And then once I get paid again next weekend, Ollie did message from Ollie who loves film about going on hunt, film hunt shopping next weekend, but I think I've got work, so maybe the weekend after. Haven't been into my HMV in Bristol, probably my favourite in quite a while. So yeah, looking forward to getting paid. But yeah, since I had some money, as you can probably tell by the title, got quite a few films here, quite a few cheap ones, mostly from CEX and things, where I usually just go and buy all the sort of editions I want, kind of regardless of the price. I had to be a bit more savvy, get some of the ones in HMV when you purchase anything, you can get one for like £9.99 or £4.99. Show them when I come to it. Let me get on with it. I've already waffled for 2 minutes. Guess that's not too bad for me. What do you expect? This did come with a photograph for authenticity. I won't show the photograph because yeah, it's basically got Joshua Fulci Fan 101. Not only a good YouTuber and a good friend, but just a great, generous guy. He sent it to me for authenticity, but I assuming he doesn't want everybody seeing his photo on YouTube. So I'm not going to show it, but I will show basically a while ago. He messaged me saying he was going to a horror con. I think it was like, got it on the photo over there, but yeah, I won't show it. Nova something, I think it's called. It's like an Australian horror con. And he did say he's going to see Mick Taylor, aka John Jarrett, the actor from Wolf Creek 1 and 2. So Wolf Creek 1, really good film. Remember the first time I seen it, quite an intense, disturbing, gory, tough watch, but really well made. Never actually seen Wolf Creek 2. And then Marcus from Xfile2708's been saying there's a series of Wolf Creek, which I wasn't aware of. But yeah, he said it's really good. So I might check, sorry, just getting comfortable. So I might check that out. But yeah, he basically said he's going to this horror con. He's going to get, I think it's his copy of Wolf Creek 1, which I just say Wolf Creek, signed by the actor, the main villain from Wolf Creek. I think he was getting it signed for another YouTuber, and did he want to get a signed copy for me? So yeah, obviously I wanted it, but at the same time, I was a bit reluctant to say yeah, because he's got to pay for the signature, and obviously he has to pay to send it over to England. He sent me so many things in the past, never kind of wants payment, even on like the postage or anything in return. So yeah, I didn't want to, take the piss and be like, yeah, please, Joshua, just spend all your money getting me this. But yeah, he basically sort of said he does it not so much as charity, but it makes him feel good, sort of sending things to YouTubers and collectors, and all the things he does send. I try and display them up there in the background of the video, so in pride of place. And yeah, all the things he sent, not just saying it on the video in case he's watching, but yeah, genuinely do appreciate and treasure the things he sends. Always quite rare things like these VHS, not just rare editions, but really good films. Some of my favourites, especially Zombie Flesh Eaters. So yeah, he's got a little note on. I'm sure he won't mind me reading the little note out, but Says, Tim, enjoy this copy of Wolf Creek 2, autographed by John Jarrett himself. I passed on to him your thank you. Cherish this always, Joshua. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to open this to watch it. It's not too sealed, but yeah, obviously now it's got, I don't know if you can see it up there, his autograph and the message. Yeah, I just don't want to sort of watch it and sort of ruin the disc in any way. So I'm going to have to pick up Wolf Creek 2. I don't think it's too hard one. I could probably get it on Amazon for a few pounds just so I can keep this one pristine. But yeah, thank you a lot, Joshua. I'll take the little note off. Usually I keep the note inside that he sends me, or that anyone sends me, but obviously I don't want to sort of open it. So yeah, I'll probably put the note in one of the other things he sent me. But yeah, I am going to put this. I think this is the first autographed film or any kind of collector's piece that I've ever had. So yeah, I'm going to put it up here. If you just bear with me a sec. This is why I'm showing it first, because I wanted to put it up here. See if... No, that's going to fall. I think I'll just drop that. See if I can put it there. Yeah, I think that's going to stay. Just put this Phantasm ball back in. Yeah, I think I dropped the Santa Sangra, so I'll do that after. But yeah, I'll put this back on a shelf somewhere. Very nice edition of a Jodorowsky film. Oh yeah, so thank you a lot for that, Joshua. Obviously sent me a lot of things. Yeah, it's a real good guy. I will leave a link in the description to his name so people can go and check out his channel. Got a really impressive collection. I've said it a few times, but loads of video nasties, pre-cert on VHS, crazy collection of like Pennywise merchandise from the old Tim Curry one and the newer It films with Bill Skarsgård. But yeah, just an impressive collection on the whole. So yeah, thank you a lot. And yeah, now you can see that one up there. I'll keep it on display. But yeah, thank you a lot, Joshua. Obviously, I've not seen Wolf Creek 2. Sure, it's really good. But yeah, Wolf Creek 1, really good. One of my favourite Australian horror films. I've got quite a few Australian, well, films in general, but horror, I think they do really well. You've got ones like Razorback, The Loved Ones. One I'm going to show in a little bit, I'll get to. But yeah, thank you, Joshua. On with the video. So yeah, first I'll show the CEX pickups. So you've got A Field in England, filmed by Ben Wheatley. Very experimental, sort of black and white, shot in like, it's a lot of what do you call it, strobing, and yes, I mean it's quite a challenging film to watch. Quite a disturbing film, but not like Kill List where, you know, there's gore and I'm sure Ollie knows like the hammer scenes he didn't really get on with. So quite nasty gore bits. This is more disturbing in like a surreal. Yeah, it doesn't sound intense, but there's one bit where basically the character comes out of a tent and they've all sort of in the field, they've been doing magic mushrooms and things. It's a real trip, no pun intended, of a film. But yeah, the bit when he comes out of the tent, the way it's shot in like slow motions, the cinematography on this is amazing. Yeah, as he comes out the tent, the look on his face, it literally gives me like shivers down my spine. This is an upgrade. I did have it on DVD. I thought with a film like this with such amazing cinematography, or should I say experimental cinematography, kind of deserved to have it on Blu-ray. Don't think it's ever had a 4K release. But yeah, I will be moving my DVD release on. I've already got somebody in mind. Yeah, it's not really worth much on CEX, the DVD. £8, quite a lot, but it's one you don't really see around. But yeah, big fan of Ben Wheatley. I think I've only got Kill List, The Field in England, Sightseers, and I don't own it, but I've seen Down Terrace, kind of like a dark comedy. He does have, Roy was on, Roy from Blue Roy Barrett was on about one by him, can't remember what it's called, but it's like a sort of shooting gun action movie. So I will be trying to pick that up. But yeah, I think Ben Wheatley, one of the best modern British directors. Be interested to see what he does next. I think he also did a few series or maybe some Game of Thrones episodes. Let's show this one next. This is another upgrade. So Altered States by Ken Russell. So I've had the DVD for years. DVD was quite a good picture. But yeah, one I've just wanted to upgrade onto Blu-ray. I think when I did see it in CEX in the past, it was a cover reprint, which I'm never going to go for, even if it's like 50p. I'd always rather have the proper version. Yeah, I think The Devils is probably the best film I've seen by Ken Russell. This is probably the second best. There's a few. Jodie and Sammy were talking about Gothic, is it called? That apparently they really didn't like, or at least Sammy really didn't like. A few others I've kind of heard mixed things about. I think he did. What's it called? Tommy, is it the Who musical sort of film? But not seen that one. But yeah, so far one of my favourites. I say it's kind of akin in a way to Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Just where that goes from like the evolution of man and stuff. This sort of the same, but basically a guy goes in like William Hurt, great actor, goes in what do you call it, like sensory deprivation tank, and then I think he takes like a load of mind altering drugs. I guess it's like LSD or something. It just says here powerful hallucinogenic drugs, and then you sort of see his trip, and yeah, it goes through evolution from like a monkey then to like the future. Yeah, it's just bit like Field in England. I've kind of got two quite like. I mean, I've personally never done like LSD or any hallucinogens. I think my imagination's too vivid and dark. If I did it, I'd probably have a bad time and sort of go to hell or something on the trip. But yeah, never done any sort of hallucinogens. But I do really find films about hallucinogens interesting. Same as one I'll show on my recent watches is like a hallucinogen film. I guess kind of all the David Lynch films look like they've been directed by someone on acid. Yeah, I spoke about quite a few recently that sort of influenced that Banshee chapter, which is about DMT, dimethyltryptamine, which is like a hallucinogenic drug. So yeah, even though I've not done them myself, I do find it really interesting watching these, seeing what kind of horrors or fantasies the human brain can come up with. But yeah, I have not watched this in a long time. I only watched it once, but remember it being a really good film. So yeah, look forward to watching Altered States. Again, that's another one I'll be moving on DVD. This one, quite a good price. There's one I never see around. Wouldn't have heard of it if it wasn't for Stuart from Stuart George's Home Movies. It's Moonstruck. Oh, hang on, sorry, have I been showing the price? Yeah, so both of these were £8. Sorry, I've kept the stickers on, nearly forgot. I always try and tell people the price. So yeah, £8 on A Field in England, £8 on Altered States. Like I say, this is always never edited, never planned, usually make some mistakes. What I call ghetto productions. Yeah, so Moonstruck, PG, with Cher and Nicolas Cage. Yeah, not really heard of this until Stuart spoke about it. Directed by Norman Jewison. I think Stuart's also spoke, or maybe Roy, also spoke about some other films from Norman Jewison. Yeah, it's a PG, looks like a kind of family film from 1987, so probably one of Nicolas Cage's earlier films. Yeah, Cher, obviously she is known as a singer, but a really good actress, so the only things I've seen her in, obviously I haven't watched this yet, but heard she's good in it, Stuart said. Is it called Mask? Yeah, I always call it The Mask, but that's the one with Jim Carrey. But it's Mask, the story of Rocky Dennison? I always forget his surname, but yeah, Cher is basically his mum in that. He's like a boy that they live in like a trailer park kind of caravan, and he's got, without being harsh, like a deformed face. And it's his story. Yeah, I always forget his surname. I know his first name's Rocky. I think it is based on a true story. And then she's obviously in Mermaids, which I haven't seen since I was a young kid. Maybe she's in Witches of Eastwick as well with Jack Nicholson and is it Meryl Streep in Witches of Eastwick? I'm sure someone will know in the comments. But yeah, Moonstruck. So yeah, one you don't see around. I thought was quite good price for £5. I like it when it's actually got a picture on the disc. I didn't show it, but yeah, this Altered States, just kind of blue with some writing, usually so thin you can like see through the actual disc. Field in England, yeah, actually got a bit of a artwork. Yeah, so kind of a blind buy really, but most of the recommendations I've had from Stuart I've liked, and big fan of Nicolas Cage. Kind of the artwork and things kind of reminds me of Tom Hanks' film. Is it Sleepless in Seattle? I know the front cover kind of looks similar to that. Yeah, a load of other good actors in it. Vincent Gardena, Olympia Dukakis, Danny Aiello, one of my favourite sort of character actors. A few other people on the back look, what's the word? Recognisable, but don't really seem to say all their names. But yeah, looks a good one. Be interested to watch that. Next one, I think I have seen this one, but I didn't. I thought I'd actually had it on DVD, and this was going to be an upgrade, and I was going to move my DVD on. I was going to sort of see if Sammy G from Sammy G's World of Cinema wanted it, as I know he's a fan of World Cinema and Michael Haneke in particular. But yeah, I'd seen it years ago. Depressing and challenging, like all of Haneke's films, is Amour. kind of slightly covered there. But yeah, £3 I thought was a good price for this one. One you don't see around too often. On Artificial Eye, I personally find Artificial Eye just don't release bad films. Might release films that you might find boring or you don't get on with, but they're always well made. Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be quite a long film, knowing Michael Haneke. 126 minutes. It's a 12, contains one use of strong language and distressing scenes. What you'd expect from the guy. Yeah, Michael Haneke, I would say not too many guys still working now, or directors still working nowadays. I class as an auteur. Few more from back in the day that sort of don't make films anymore. But yeah, still working nowadays. I'd say my favourites by him, probably The Piano Teacher and Hidden, or Cachet, I guess it's called in like French. Brilliant thriller, that one. Yeah, don't know too much. I think it's like a couple and one of them's got dementia or something. Yeah, kind of a bit of a blind buy, as in I haven't seen it. No, sorry, yeah, seen it years ago, but can't remember it too much. But yeah, sort of buy anything by Michael Haneke, trying to get all of his films, so interested to watch that one for £3. Next, you've got an Arrow video release. One, I think a few people have spoke about it on YouTube, but I know Marcus from Maxwell2708 has sung its praises as the car. Don't really like this artwork, bear with me, I'm just going to swap it around. I think one of these I'm going to show is a bit of a spoiler for my recent watches. So yeah, bought them a couple of days ago, I think. Watched one of them already, so yeah, obviously when it comes to my recent watches, you're going to know it's going to be in there, but then you can see my impression of it. Yeah, I think that's the better artwork. That's the one you usually see around. When I first seen it flipped, I was like, is this a cover reprint? Didn't have cover reprint in the corner, but I thought, oh, maybe CEX, knowing their sneaky ways, have now stopped putting cover reprint to trick people. But I kind of opened it and looked inside and thought, yeah, not only has it got this original card, The Jaws of Death, looks interesting, one I haven't seen. Probably another shitty shark movie. But yeah, obviously once I looked inside and seen it was this artwork on the reversible sleeve, then yeah, I was pretty sure it was the real version, directed by Elliot Silverstein from 1977, 96 minutes. It's a 12, contains moderate threat and sex references. £8, not too bad a price. Don't think it's out of print, but yeah, one you just don't see around too often. Yeah, let me know if you've seen it. I think Roy or someone else has spoke about it, but yeah, I know Marcus watched it and was quite a big fan of it. Next we've got another Arrow one. Another upgrade. This one I had on DVD. Watched it once years ago. Did enjoy it, but one of my friends, it's his favourite film ever. Favourite horror slasher. Favourite horror or slasher. Favourite 80s film. Yeah, he absolutely loves this. And then Marcus from Maxwell2708, I always known as a big fan of this, and had it as his favourite 80s slasher, and one of his favourite films ever is Maniac Cop. So it's obviously got the legend Bruce Campbell in it, who I'm a big fan of. So other than Evil Dead films, Bubba Hotep, don't need too many with Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I've seen it once and enjoyed it, which is one I've never gone back to. Obviously I had a DVD copy, so not only another nice one for the Arrow collection, which is always growing, but yeah, it's going to be a better picture on this Blu-ray. I know you can get this in like the white window box, what one of my mates had years ago, but that's quite out of print now. Comes with this nice little card, branded to kill, and a booklet. There he is there. Yeah, I think it's kind of a comedy horror. It is 18. It's quite brutal, I can remember. Let's see what it says. Contains strong gory violence. Directed by William Lustig. So when I was saying the other day, I think I wrongfully said he directed the original Maniac. But I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is William Lustig that did the original. So yeah, it's got Bruce Campbell, Tom Atkins, absolute legend, and Laureen Langdon. Really good tagline on this, I like. You have the right to remain silent forever. Yeah, loads of special features. But yeah, it'd be interesting to watch this. I know a few people watched it, didn't really get on with it. But yeah, I do remember enjoying it. It wasn't a favourite, but I think maybe going back to it, it's going to go up in my estimations. It was £12. I'm thinking this one is probably out of print, one you don't really see around too often. Seen it on the website, and then when I got there, I kind of expected it to be cover reprint or damaged or not even on the shelf. But yeah, I was quite happy to find it. This one, it's a bit of a story behind it. Obviously, I have showed this, the Bogeyman, previously on a pickup video about a month ago. I think this was about £12, but one that seems to be quite out of print. It is a Video Nasty. I think it's from section 1 or 2. I mean, that was one of the main sections. Didn't really talk about it on here, but didn't check it. And then when I opened it and looked, it was the Bogeyman. Sorry, the Boogeyman. They put in the Sam Raimi film by accident. Kind of a bit of a generic horror. I don't hate it. It's not one of Sam Raimi's best films. You know, it's not up there with Evil Dead films, and I even prefer Drag Me to Hell, the Spider-Man, at least the first 2 Spider-Man films. Can't remember the third. But yeah, it was obviously only worth a £5, but I just didn't have a chance to go back and swap it over. So I usually do go back to Bath with Ollie, but I kind of went on a bit of an impromptu one with my mate, who's not really interested in films, but went to sort of do some other things. So I said to him, I'm going to pop in this CEX and swap this over. They swapped it over without too much problem. They did kind of scour the receipt, and then whoever, I guess people could buy something like this, get home, put in the Boogeyman by Sam Raimi if you've got an old copy you don't like, which is cheaper, take it back to swap it and probably make some money, where, you know, this is worth like 60% or so more than the one I'm swapping it for. But yeah, I've spoke about it, so I'm not going to go. But yeah, a bit of deja vu, if you remember me showing this one before. But yeah, now happy to have the correct disc for it. This looks okay and everything. Got another CEX Blu-ray. I think this is the last CEX Blu-ray I've picked up. One I've not heard of before, but I've been trying to get a lot of these Cine Asia. They had another one, but it was about £8. It didn't look too interesting. I want to try not to spend too much money, like I said. Shockwave, Hong Kong Destruction, written and directed by Herman Yao. So he directed not The Untold Story. Let me have a look. I know it's a cat-free, 88 films, offensive, nasty. One that me and Marcus and Ash are always talking about. Can I see it down there? Is it The Untold Story? Yeah, it is Untold Story. Sorry, I was thinking it might have been the other one. What's the other really offensive? Let me just double check if he did. Sorry about this. People probably expect me to go off on a tangent, to be fair. Just checking. Oh yeah, Ebola Syndrome. Yeah, so he did Ebola Syndrome and The Untold Story, which are two of the most, not just gory and insane, but the language, racism, just a very offensive films, like you'd expect from most cat-free films. Then he's also done this one, Taxi Hunter, which isn't cat-free, and it's only a 15. Haven't seen this, but heard it's quite insane. But yeah, obviously a fan of Herman Yao, so anything he does I'm interested in. And this looks like a bit more like an action kind of film. I mean, it does say contains strong bloody violence, threat, injury detail. They've covered this with the stickers. But it's starring... let's see it. Sean Lau Nini, co-starring Si Kwan Ho, Philip Kyung, Ron Ng, Mark Ma, Kenny Wong, Timothy Cheng, Timmy Hyung, Ben Yun, Wilfred Lau, Ling Man Lung, Raymond Chiu, Baby John Choi, Chung Chun Kit, and Zhang Yang. Sorry if I pronounced any of those wrong, but yeah, I kind of looked at it, thought it looked a bit interesting, especially when you read the plot. But yeah, as soon as I seen it was Herman Yao, I was like, even if it's not kind of extreme and cat-free like most of his stuff, it's a good director, so I thought it'd be interesting. But yeah, I thought £5. Like I say, I was kind of trying to be frugal. So yeah, I thought that was really good value for one of these Cine Asia ones. Nice artwork inside. Oh, don't know if you can see that with the glare. Of him, I think they're lifting, yeah, Toyota van full of explosives on a helicopter. So yeah, I've heard this is kind of quite batshit. I won't read the whole back because I'm trying not to make this too long, but it's meant to be a very fast-paced action, kind of like hard-boiled. But yeah, it's basically saying he's a bomb disposal expert. I think he kind of gets a sack or something for whatever reason, and then they find him asleep with amnesia at the scene of a bomb crime. So someone's setting off bombs around Hong Kong, I'm guessing it is. and yeah, he kind of gets blamed, and he wakes up with amnesia, and then he has to solve the mystery of why he's been on the scene of the crime. So yeah, sounds an interesting one. Shockwave Hong Kong Destruction. Right, I've got a few DVDs from CEX. Don't usually buy too many DVDs, but if I see rare ones or ones that look interesting, out of print ones, then I'll pick them up. But yeah, this looks an interesting one. Primer. £3.50. Directed by Shane Carruth. I think I've got another film by him, not sure. But yeah, I find you can just find some really hidden gems on this label. So on Tartan Video, ones like Mean Creek, The Woodsman, The Machinist. What's the one I watched? Mysterious Skin. There's a few others, but those four are some of the sort of best, most powerful films I've watched. I mean, what kind of sold it to me is here. It says, let me just move this because it's covered by the sticker. Yeah, it's in quite good condition. The disc looks okay, not too scratched. One thing I like, when you take them up and you're waiting for the staff at CEX to take ages bloody finding them and putting them in, the DVDs, I think the guy said, unless they're £6 or more, they just keep the DVDs in there, so you haven't got to worry about them finding them. Yeah, I just read that bit where it's basically comparing it to Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko, one of my favourites of recent times. I know Stuart said it's I think his favourite film of the last 20, 30 years. I mean, it's a bit offensive, really, to say Donnie Darko for grown-ups, because Donnie Darko is not a child's film, is it? But I guess they're just trying to sell their product. But 74 minutes, so going to be quite a fast watch. 12 contains moderate language. Won't read all the back of it, but basically the plot is two guys are like scientists, and they're working in their garage, sort of extracurricular activity out of work. They create a machine that can shrink things down, and it actually works, and then they basically start taking advantage of it, so they can do anything, but then it says it has consequences. So yeah, it seems like a kind of meant to be quite a dark thriller, sort of science fiction, sort of where they're shrinking things is kind of, I guess, a bit akin to The Fly. Obviously he's trying to teleport people, but yeah, if it's I do like sort of not just sci-fi, I think it's more of a grounded sci-fi, but yeah, where people are doing experiments, and those experiments, especially if they're immoral, lead to problems and things. So yeah, I don't really know too much, but I heard it's a good film. It's got good ratings and things. This next one kind of picked it up just as it looks funny and interesting. Probably bad. Hopefully so bad it's hilarious. Could just be so bad it's bad. One, I think when I bought it, I sort of showed it to in the Lords of Darkness group to Ash from Popcorn and Horror, Marcus again from X-File 2708, but I knew it'd be one Marcus would like. Crazy Creature Feature. It is only from 2024, so only a year old, so not too bad for £4. I thought it was out of print. One I haven't seen around, but Rippy. There's an outbreak in the Outback. I would have went with the tagline Murderous Marsupial Mayhem, or maybe Watch Your Outback or something. Yeah, it's not the best tagline, not compared to Maniac Cop, You Have the Right to Remain Silent Forever. Yeah, the cinematography and budget in that don't look too bad. It looks well shot and colourful. Directed by Ryan Coonan. I think I have actually heard of him. Yeah, only a year old, but sometimes if I'm having a few drinks or something, rather than try and watch, a masterpiece you're not going to take in, or, something like, I always forget the name of it. What's that one when they all go into the dreams with Tom Hardy, Leonardo DiCaprio? I haven't actually watched it yet, but yeah, I've heard it's very confusing. There's certain films like Unbreakable, one of the best films I've seen in a long time, but I think you need to focus on those. Sometimes when I've had a few drinks, I just want to watch something stupid, switch your brain off, funny. If it's really bad in a hilarious kind of way, like some of the shitty shark movies, then I can usually enjoy it when I'm drunk and sort of see the funny side of it. So yeah, I'll probably be on a recent watches, thinking of watching this later. So I'll let you know what I think of it. But yeah, it looks like a rabid kangaroo goes wild in the Outback and slaughters a load of people. So yeah, fun kind of B-movie creature film. Probably not everyone's cup of tea. Expecting it's probably got really bad acting. I mean, I don't know if you can see that guy there, but you just see from one shot he's overacting. But yeah, hopefully it's a fun, entertaining one. Rippy. guess it's a pun on Skippy the Bush Kangaroo, which, yeah, I did used to like watching that when I was a kid. I guess they're probably going to do one of Lassie as well, similar kind of animal that helps people. Don't know what they'll call Lassie. Pun in the comments if you can think of one. This one, never heard of, probably cheap and a bit crap, but again, sometimes I just like these kind of crappy, entertaining films, and some of them, like Troll 2, Manos, Hand of Fate, Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, Birdemic, some of them are just genuinely hilarious. I think when you make like horror comedies like Shaun of the Dead, Evil Dead 2, Black Sheep that are meant to be funny, although they do land and I do find them funny, sometimes it's funnier when these films are not meant to be funny. So Troll 2, I'm pretty sure, was made like as a serious film, and then it's so funny, you're just like, how did they make this so bad? How did they not know some of these like plot parts and effects? Some of these one-liners would just be that funny and quotable. The Room with Tommy Wiseau, yeah, I kind of really enjoy. So bad they're good movies. So this should be good, really, having Tom Hardy and Rutger Hauer, but probably not. It looks very low budget. I always say Minotaur. I'm guessing it's probably Minotaur, just because I guess it's from the Greek islands called Minos. So it makes sense it'd be Minotaur or Minotaur. I just call it Minotaur. That's what I've always called it since I was a kid. Directed by Jonathan English. Don't know if that's a pseudonym for Johnny English. So hopefully it's not as comedic as that. But yeah, kind of weird. That's never been on my radar when it's got Tom Hardy and Rutger Hauer. I'm guessing it's from 2012, so quite early in Tom Hardy's career, probably before he was famous. But yeah, basically, without sort of reading all the back, it looks like there's like a minotaur in like an underground labyrinth, and they make sacrifices to him. So I guess it's like a bit of a fantasy. It's a 15. Didn't realise when I bought it, but hopefully it's not bad because it's 150 minutes. So 150 minutes of enduring some B-movie shite is going to be quite a endurance challenge if it is bad. But yeah, again, for 150, it's not just I like to have some of these in the collection where it's just rare films you don't see around, and you know, ones like Rippy about a killer kangaroo just sort of got a novelty value even if they are crap. But also, yeah, I've always sort of been interested in like the Greek mythology of the Minotaur in the labyrinth, and how he's sort of half man, half bull. So yeah, if it's like a kind of fantasy version of that with a bit of a spin, yeah, really up my street. But where the Minotaur, whatever you want to call him, is just like a jacked sort of man's body with a bull's head. This is like a weird skeleton monster, so I'm already thinking could be a bit crap. But if it is Tom Hardy and Rutger Hauer, what are you doing in such a sort of low budget fantasy? I mean, quite epic, isn't it, for 150 minutes? But yeah, obviously some actors, when they're down on their luck, they ain't getting work. They do sort of appear in some crap movies when they need the money. Nicolas Cage went through a time of just being in some real crap stuff where I think he went bankrupt. Whereas, yeah, I'm sure 2012, I think Tom Hardy was starting out then. I couldn't have been too long after, like, Dark Knight Rises. So, yeah, if it's bad, why were they in that, is what I'm going to say. But I'll find out when I watch it. I guess I'll show this one first. This is the only got 3 from HMV, but the other 2 are the ones, when you buy it, you get them at like a cheap price. So I'll show the one I bought in order to enable me to get them. As most people probably know, not only I enjoy my Asian cinema, especially Japanese, but I do collect on this Japaniki 88 Films label. Hopefully it's not too glary. It's called Detonation Violent Riders. A lot of these are, well, at least the first pressing are like limited edition, which I've all said a few times, I ain't too bothered if they're limited edition, but I guess for collectability. From 1975 to quite an old one, directed by Teruo Ishii, I guess you pronounce it. Yeah, it looks pretty insane. Hopefully I won't get in trouble showing the back. It's got some nudity. It's I'll read this little bit. Lever up and get ready for the ride of your lives in this high-octane biker movie from Toei by cult director Teruo Ishii, who did The Horrors of Malformed Men, which I don't think I've seen, but I'm pretty sure Roy said that's a good one. A cast headed by Sonny Chiba, who I do know. Iwaki, played by Koichi Iwaki, is a motorbike mechanic with big dreams of racing professionally. Then temptation arrives in the shapely form of Mayumi, played by Junko Matsudaira, the wild and free lover of Mitsuda, played by Yasuki Natsu, the leader of the Red Rose Gang, a pack of speed freaks tearing up the town, Iwaki, meanwhile, has his sights set on the sweet and innocent Michiko, played by Tomoko Ai, but any potential romance is hampered by her overprotective brother, Tsugami, played by Sonny Chiba, and Mitsuda's bullish plans to make Michiko his own trophy. Does Iwaki take the straight and narrow option or opt for a more dangerous road? So yeah, it's like a motorbike, Hell's Angels, hyper-violent film, kind of, I guess, in the like Easy Rider cross with Mad Max, but with a wild Japanese spin on it. So yeah, it looks kind of right up my street, where a lot of these 88 films, Japaniki label, are, you know, set in like normal places, or you know, set in streets and houses. Never really come across one which is like about motorbike gangs. So yeah, it looks like it could be really wild. Let's show this one last. You'll understand when I get to the title. This one I have opened and watched it. Watched it yesterday. We'll be talking about it on the recent watches. Really enjoyed it. First time I seen it since I was about 4 years old. So as a kid, I had the wallpaper, the lampshade, the rug, everything in my bedroom decorated as Superman. So even though I can't remember it, I must have loved it as a kid. It's Superman the movie. So this is the original one from 1979, I reckon. Let's see if I can find 1978. 151 minutes. So yeah, 2 hours and a half, but really flew by. No pun intended. Yeah, really enjoyed this. Excellent cast. It's directed by Richard Donner. I think I've got a few other films by him. Maybe he does Alive. Starring Christopher Reeve, Ned Beatty, Jackie Cooper, Glenn Ford, Trevor Howard, Margot Kidder, Valerie Perrine, Maria Schell, Terence Stamp, Phyllis Thaxter, Susanna York. Doesn't say his name on it, but it does have Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman, rest in peace. Yeah, it's not really that dated. I mean, the special effects like still stand up in my opinion. Not seen the newest Superman. Heard mixed things about it, but I personally don't think it's going to be better than this. I know, I'll give a little shout out to Angelo from the Pang Films. Leave a link, watch his channel, really good guy. He's done his like Superman ranking, so I'm going to be watching that later. Obviously, like I said, I've been busy, so yeah, all the YouTubers I follow and that, now I'm going to be catching up on your videos, so I haven't really had a chance. But I thought before I go and watch his ranking video, I should at least get back to watching one of these. So yeah, this was $9.99. Obviously, it's ripped where I tried to open it delicately. Don't really do gentle. Yeah, $9.99 with any purchase. So obviously, once I picked up that Detonation Violent Riders, then this was qualified. Is that the right word to buy this? But yeah, 4K for £10, or $9.99. Really good value. They also did have part 2, which has 2 cuts. It's sort of got 2 bits on the front. So first of all, I was confused thinking, is this Superman 1 and 2? And part 2 has, like, I think the theatrical cut and then the Richard Donner cut. So I was tempted to get them both, but like I said, I didn't have too much money. So next time I go in HMV, hopefully it's still on sale, and I'll be picking up Superman part 2. Yeah, I'll talk about it more in the recent watches, so I don't sort of spoil my opinion now. But all I'm going to say is, yeah, really enjoyed it. Really still stands up. Kind of surprised how good. Not surprised, because everyone says it's a classic, but yeah, agreed, it is still a really good film. And you see why I left this one to last. Just a little pun on the name, Final Destination. So yeah, one I've seen when I was a kid, well, teenager. Watched it a few years, not even a year ago, on probably last Halloween on Netflix. I don't have Netflix anymore. Prime, one of those streaming services, because I wanted to watch it. It's one I don't own. It is a fun one. I think this is the best. I've not seen a lot of the sequels, but yeah, the original Final Destination, directed by James Wong, with Devon Sawa, who was in that Idle Hands I recently watched, Kerr Smith, Tony Todd from Candyman, Night of the Living Dead remake by Tom Savini in colour. Yeah, the sort of setup's really interesting. I'm sure everybody knows this. The sort of deaths that happen, how death catches up with them. Yeah, out of all these kind of, is it 2001? 2000, yeah, out of all the films from this, around the time of Scream, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Idle Hands, Final Destination, other than Scream, this is probably the best made one, I think. But yeah, still really enjoy this. One I wouldn't really want to pay £10 for. Do want it in the collection, but yeah, obviously when I've seen it $4.99 with any purchase, I thought that was really good value. Obviously it will be a rewatch, probably won't watch it for a while, but yeah, you know, there's certain horrors, or films in general, that I just want in the collection, even if I'm not going to watch them for a while. And yeah, £10 was quite prohibitive price. Don't really see it in there too often for £10 or £9.99. So yeah, I thought for £4.99, good chance to pick it up and get in the collection without spending too much. So yeah, I said to the guy at the till, I was like, can you have 2 of these special price ones in one purchase, or do you need to make multiple purchases? He's like, oh, you could have as many as you want. So yeah, that's everything I bought. And yeah, thank you, Joshua, for that amazing gift. You can now see up there on display. Has displaced Santa Sangra. Yeah, probably record later or tomorrow and upload it probably tomorrow. My recent watches, got about 10 or so I've watched in about the last 2 weeks. I think it's part 16, but I'll talk about that when I get to it. So yeah, I'll link some people down in the comments. Like I say, go and check out Angelo and the Pang Films channel, really good channel, and look at his Superman ranking and things. Yeah, that's everything I've got to say. Thank you for watching, everybody. Be back soon with another video. Goodbye.